You've written about this defence review. It's due in March next year. It's the capability review. Stephen Smith, former Defence Minister, will then head off to be our High Commissioner in the UK, and of course Sir Angus Houston, former Chief of the Defence Force. You say they have got their work cut out for them. Tell us why.
Well, there's a number of reasons for that. So they've been given terms of reference by the government, and the government have said they want Smith and Houston to focus on developing more capability by 2032, so in the next 10 years. Well, already that's a problem because the two biggest acquisitions that Defence has planned are the nuclear submarines and the Hunter-class frigates, and they're not scheduled to deliver until after those 10 years. We don't get the first frigate or the first submarine until after those 10 years. So they can't really speed that up. And in the meantime, both of those programs are going to be consuming a lot of money. So we will have spent tens of billions of dollars before we get the first submarine or the first frigate. So that's the first problem. The two biggest projects on the shopping list can't do anything to help us in the next 10 years. The next problem is like everything about money. So the Defence Department is facing inflation pressures just like everybody else. So just as Aussie mums and dads are losing buying power to inflation, so the Defence Department is losing its buying power. And with inflation running at 6 or 7% a year, that's making a huge difference. And so already the Defence Department is losing billions of dollars in buying power every year. So in a sense, it's already going backwards. So if the task is to acquire new capability faster, Defence is already going backwards. So it's going to need additional funding just to stay in place. If the DSR, the review, recommends new purchases on top of what's already in the plan, either we have to chuck some other stuff out of the plan, or the government needs to increase Defence's funding. And you're probably aware there's been quite a lot of discussion about where the Defence budget should go. It's on track to get from around 2% to around 2.2% in the next few years. But many people, including myself, think that in the current strategic environment, it needs to go beyond that, potentially to 2.5% or even more in the longer term. But as we saw last week on budget night, the Australian government is facing a whole range of other budget pressures, such as NDIS, aged care, healthcare. And so Defence is essentially competing against a lot of other claims on the Defence budget. So that's the kind of starting point that Smith and Houston are at. They need to do things quickly. They need to acquire more capability, but actually their budget is going backwards as we speak due to inflation.
Spot on, Marcus Hellyer, thank you.